Does Battlefield Bad Company 2 have what it takes to redefine online warfare, or will it fail and be bad just like its name suggests? The concept of Battlefield Bad Company 2 is pretty simple like most games. It's a first-person shooter, and it's a sequel to a successful new franchise. However, it changes how the Bad Company series is viewed as a whole. In the first installment, you had the sort of comical view on the war at hand. It was funny, but it was considered a joke to many professional first-person shooter multiplayer gamers. And when the market is filled with Call of Duties and Halos and all the other AAA titles, a comedic first-person shooter game is really just thrown to the back of one's mind. So the overall concept for Bad Company 2 is to create a much more mature and darker video game for gamers that still had the Bad Company universe, and as well as also redefine how online gaming is played. The narrative for Battlefield Bad Company 2 is a really compelling story that's filled with a lot of realistic story arcs and twists. It places you into the body of Preston Marlowe, a private in Bad Company, and you get to fight alongside similar faces from the very first game. However, like the concept, the narrative is taken down a much darker road, where instead of chasing for gold in the first one, you're chasing the clock before all hell breaks loose. Instead of jumping so many places at once, you're located mostly in South America and are trying to solve a mystery that dates back all the way to World War II. The story, even though is much more darker, still has a lot of funny dialogue in the form of arguments between Haggard and Sweetwater in between fighting. And it even pokes fun at games like Modern Warfare 2. Overall, the story is a really good one, and one that people will be replaying for a long time to come. The gameplay is nothing new to any first-person shooter. The only thing that really stands out is the physics engine. Bullets travel in real time in this game, and they are even pulled down in the game from gravity. So, to become a master sniper, you must really know your stuff in this game. You get to ride any vehicle, from anywhere from a motorbike to an Abrams tank, and you get to fly anything from a UAV to an Apache attack helicopter. It brings the goodness of Battlefield games that everyone knows and loves, and puts it into the Bad Company universe, and with the dark undertones and mature gaming, it really does redefine online warfare, like it says right on the box art. And from my experiences with the game, it is just about the best multiplayer game I have played so far. The graphics in Battlefield Bad Company 2 are superb. The Frostbite engine is tweaked a tad bit and allows much more destructibility in the environments. In fact, some of the buildings in the game are even fully destructible, and the destruction looks a lot more realistic. In the first Bad Company, if you shot an RPG at a building, sometimes a different section that when that was hit would explode. In this installment, however, wherever you hit the building, it would explode in that same spot. What I like best about this game, however, is the lighting techniques. This is some of the best lighting techniques in any game I have seen so far. The landscapes are created in very vivid detail, and the guns look very realistic. So what I have to say for this game is it is by far one of the best visual games that we've seen in video game history so far today. So now it's time for the scoring part of this review. I gave the concept a 9 because I love the first one and its witty takes on the war, and I like the idea of taking those concepts and putting it into a much deeper and darker storyline and game. The narrative is given a 9 because it's overall very fun and different, and although it's a darker story, still has that comedy that we all know and love with the Bad Company gang. The gameplay received an 8 because everything was done magnificently, but although it still feels a tad clunky. The graphics get a 10, and I wish I could go higher. It is truly one of the best looking games on any platform to date. So I'm going to add up the scores and average them out, and now I'm finished with this review. I hope you like it because I loved reviewing this game, and make sure you come join me and the rest of the Open Fire Gaming crew with my next review coming out in 2 weeks.